And the Magi were very happy to see that the star that they saw from its rising stopped, and when they entered the house, they found the baby with Mary, his mother. Before we begin this sermon today, I'd like to really give you a little indication why Matthew used those words. Number one, the Magi did not come 8 days after the birth of Jesus. It was 2 years after. And they are not anymore in the cave. They have money enough to pay the rent now. They went in a house. And they found the baby with Mary. Remember last Thursday we celebrate the maternity of the Blessed Mother, and we say that the Council of Ephesus defined that Mary is the Mother of God. Not that she precedes God, but because she gave birth to a person, and that person was divine, that person who was from eternity God, in time took flesh, one divine person with two natures. And today Matthew is telling us that now the Magi came to really show Christ his divinity. Remember that the Epiphany that we are celebrating is divided into 3 parts. The visitation of the Magi, the baptism of Jesus, and the first miracle of Jesus when Jesus transferred water into wine. And those is the theophania, that means the manifestation of Jesus to show his divinity. And today in the first reading we saw the prophet Isaiah speaking to the people of Israel who are in Babylon in exile, and he is telling them to be full of joy because everyone is come to Jerusalem. I am seeing the remnants, I am seeing the dispersed, I am seeing the old Jews who were separated because of the persecution they have, and also they left Palestine, are all coming. And why they coming? Because they come to give praise to God that he fulfill his promise of the covenant, that he will make them a people, he will be their God, and they will be his people. When we speak about caravans, and when we speak about the sea turn over all the riches, means everyone is coming from even afar to bring gifts and to give thanksgiving to God. In the gospel today, of course, we find Jesus being adored by the Magi, and we see that there are two sets of people looking for Jesus. There is the Magi and there is Herod. The Magi is looking for Jesus because they saw a star, extraordinary, being themselves astrologers. And they follow this star because this star is going to lead them to the newly born. Herod, because he himself was not Jew, and he was terrified at the annunciation that the king of the Jews has been born. He is so unhappy what he is hearing, although he was confirmed by the priest that yes, the prophet Malachi has said that in Bethlehem the king of the Jews will be born. He wants to go to visit Jesus, but not to worship him like the Magi, but to destroy him. And those two elements are still today. There are the wise men who are still seeking Jesus, and there are the murderers to destroy Jesus. And they are the two elements by which, although they want to come to see Jesus, they have different intentions. St. Paul today reminds us in the second reading that all now are called to salvation. There is no Jew, there is no Gentile, all of us are called to be one. because we are called by the Lord to be His people. When I speak of that opening prayer today, that the Magi were led to the infant Jesus by a guiding of a star, the church take that and apply it to us, because each one of us are guided to Jesus, came to Jesus not alone. We were guided by somebody else. Each one of you, if you look at your history, at your past, you have your mother, your father, somebody in your education arena, or somebody in your family who really were inspiration to you to come to know Jesus very deeply. And because of that, you saw in that person somebody that you trust, and because you trust, you follow that direction. And today you are here to continue to worship that Jesus that you are taught from your infancy, or even from your adulthood. Each one of us, by virtue of vocation, we also know people in our life that has touched us in a very special way. My story is a very unique story, but is also the story of everyone. I was a young boy when a new pastor was coming to our town, and as a young boy, like the others, were waiting in the yard or in front of the church for the new pastor to arrive. And believe me when I tell you how 19 years passed is like yesterday, and under his direction or his example, today I am in front of you. He was a man of faith. He was a man who was in love with Jesus. And of course, he has great love with the Blessed Mother. His name was like mine, Carmel, so we were named after Our Lady of Mount Carmel. And we know that his faith, his love, and his dedication to the church issue forth the service to a people that he gave till he was taken to paradise. And that's why I am saying to you, dear people, that each one of us have great responsibility to make other people come to know Jesus and lead them to Jesus. This is what the church is asking today in our era, the new evangelization. If I ask you a question, who are the people that you brought to Jesus? Who are the people that you changed their lives because of you? And today they are believers. And today they are given their worship, which is their incense, their gold, their humanity to Jesus. Who are those people? This is the conscience that I would like to bring into you. Because if each one of us, like the Magi, we become like that star that led them to Jesus, we need to be stars to others to bring them to the Lord. My infancy, my adulthood were blessed by people in my life who really were people of faith, people who really understood that their time on earth will come when they have to depart, but they left their trademark in my life of whom they are. Not people who take Jesus for granted, not people who go to church on Sunday because they have to, but they deeply touched by this infant that we just celebrate his feast. And like Jesus, we take, like he took from the Father, that message to go and make him known to others. And dear people, this is what Epiphany is all about. It's the show off of God. God show off today as God made flesh to the Magi. Not anymore to the shepherds, but to the Magi, to the nations. Next Sunday, with the help of God, we see God the Father testify on behalf of Jesus. This is my beloved Son, on whom my favor rests. Another theophany. And then Jesus, on his own, testified that he is God, who can change water into wine at the feast, Cana, wedding feast of Cana. My dear people, the message is this. The Magi arrived at Jesus because they follow what God gave them as a star. You have followed some star in your life, but now if we are going to go and say, now who is going to follow us like stars to lead them to Jesus? And that's why St. Paul was very convinced of this. He said, I come to you weak. I come to you very, very shy, because I preach to you Christ and him crucified. And why I did so? So I don't boast on myself, but I boast on the grace of God that was given to me, to lead you to him. My dear Jesus, my dear people, today the Magi arrived where they have to arrive. One day we too will arrive at our destination. But if we have to write the history of our lives, who is going to follow after us? What they are going to write about us? Are we true stars? Are we stars of love? Are we stars of guiding? Are we stars that by our example will lead others to Jesus? This is what Epiphany means to us. As we say in the offering prayer, we don't offer anymore incense, myrrh, or gold. It symbolizes the reality, the royalty of Jesus as King, his divinity through incense, and his humanity through the myrrh that he is going to be given to him at the end of the journey when he was on the cross. But we are going to offer ourselves. So he who comes to us because he was obedient to the Father will bring others to him by being obedient to him, to bring the good news to all people of the world. God bless you.